Are we in trouble yet?
Move aside!
Let's run, sweetie. Let's go. Why are you so slow? They're all... Don't you feel it?
If he killed...
Hello, Minago. Greetings, Mr. Misery Guts. It's us again.
You have the audacity. What else? Put yourself in my place.
You know, I once heard a peasant.
Sweetie.
Quiet.
You think that for years you self-appointed champions of good have treated us like dirt beneath your feet?
Of course. Right.
Staunton.
Stop whining!
Yet another obstacle.
Nah. Stubborn ass!
No,
Give me back! Oh, I grow so tired of you mortals. Your humdrum little passion. You're a take.
So this is to be my fate. I've... Let's...
I'll split you in half!
Into the fray!
be ready for the worst.
Missed me already.
Meditate on your mistakes. Might make you feel better.
Together, we stand.
I heed the voice of the spirits. What's on your mind? I wonder.
I welcome your company.
Now, doubt is the heart's greatest challenge.
Let's run, sweetie. Let's go.
Hello, Minago. Greetings, Mr. Misery Guts. It's us again.
You have... What else? Put yourself in my place.
You know, I once heard a peasant trying to...
Quiet.
You think that for years you self-appointed champions of good have treated us like dirt beneath your feet? If the demons will help us get our revenge, then...
The side of good? You mean Queen Galfrey's side? I've lost almost everything, but not my self-respect. If tyrants like her are good, then I surely belong in the abyss.
Forget about the Queen. She's not here. We're here. The Crusaders, your friends. Do you remember fighting side by side in the ruins of Canabras? Come back to us!
I have no friends. The Canabras Crusaders treated me like carrion. You personally did nothing to me. That's just because we barely know each other. Right.
Staunton.
Stop what? Ah!
I'll cut you wide open! The spirits demand your blood!
stubborn.
No.
Give me back. Oh, I grow so tired of you, mortal. Take.
So this is the... Let's...
I'll split you in half!
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Move aside!
Soul Basher, Staunton Vhane's Warhammer, was once a weapon of honor and repute among the Crusaders. When the Keeper of the Sword of Valor rejected his duty as a paladin and became a double agent, he single-handedly reforged the Warhammer into the glaive soul shear, a weapon admired by the worshippers of Baphomet. Mistress Minago herself tempered the new blade with the grimmest and most sinister enchantments, and no Crusader would ever dare to reclaim the disgraced weapon.
Oh, the waiting's never fun.
We will win this war.
Well,
No reason to pause.
we in trouble yet?
I'm not touching that.
Breathing heavily, Nura stands up and wipes her bloody hands on her clothes.
Well? What are you waiting for, you scum? Come on, finish me off. Kill me like you killed Staunton, and be glad you've defeated the villains. Just make sure you don't wonder whose fault it was that he and I were on Demon's side. Thoughts like that could make you lose your appetite. Let me go? Why would you? No, you mean, seriously? Ha. Ha ha ha. You think I'll thank you for your generosity and devote the rest of my days to taking care of homeless puppies? I'll continue exacting my vengeance, that's what I'll do. On others, if not on you. I will feed as many crusaders as I can to the demons before I face the sword of someone less forgiving than you.
She spits at your feet.
You want to know the truth?
Her face cringes painfully.
Here's the truth. I hate all of you. If I'd been there the day Ariella Forlesh opened a rift to the abyss, I would have gladly handed her the ingredients for the ritual. I put the pheromone-soaked cloth in your pocket. I wanted those hellbugs to eat your smug face off. I was the one who set the tents on fire that night, and I told the gargoyles who to grab. Every day I was in your army, I did all I could to hurt you. Oh, the things I would gladly do to you, and it would be but 1,000th of what you deserve.
She hides her face in her hands.
When I was 8, I was auctioned off, like livestock. Like livestock, they used a stick to train me to obey. Did the paladins of Mendef help me? Of course not. Even when we passed through a Mendavian city, none of those warriors of good lifted a finger to set me free. Slavers aren't demons, after all.
Nero looks up and stares at you with eyes red with tears.
The first time I came to the wound, I wasn't seeking adventure. My owner dragged me here on a leash. You think the demons bribed me? I was happy to betray him. Without a shadow of a doubt, expecting nothing in return. I poured a sleeping potion into their soup pot, opened the gate and waited for the demons to come and tear them all to pieces, and me along with them. I didn't care. But the demons saw the real me. They made me a cultist. They offered me a chance for revenge.
Well, this is a sad old tale. You're a traitor, Nura, so don't expect any sympathy from me. But what those people did to you was foul. Sometimes mortals can be madder than Fae and more heartless than demons. Yes, slavery is evil, without a doubt. Quelling the rabble into obedience with whips and boots? How crude. Why can't these so-called rulers convince the masses to serve them willingly? With smiles, and songs, and adoration? That's how it's done in Mendef, after all.
I'm sure if our coins had your likeness on them, Count, the common folk would be even more desperate to get their hands on them than they already are.
Oh, no, anything but that. Ruling is such a tedious business. I receive sufficient adulation already without the burden of a crown, long may that unwieldy bauble rest on my dear cousin's head. Nura cringes.
Spare me the sermon. If you want to kill me, then kill me. But don't try to get into my head. I never thought I'd say this, but this is a mistake. She isn't ready to change. Letting her go means allowing her to continue wreaking havoc and doing evil, including to herself. Thank you, for giving me another chance to kill you. I will get to you. Or your friends.
Make way!
The commander of the Crusade has managed to overthrow 70 years of demonic rule in Dresden and restored the Sword of Valor to its rightful place. Will the commander be able to defend the banner he has won with such a valiant effort?
Knight Commander! I know you have not had time to sit in on any council meetings in recent days. You've been so busy restoring order in Dresden that you've barely found time to sleep. However, there are some matters that require your attention. I am ready to report if you have a moment. Thank you, Knight Commander. The Crusade forces liberated Dresden quickly. The demons did not have time to recover from their defeat in Canabras. Every death is an irretrievable loss, but your leadership has minimized such losses as much as possible. Morale is high among the Crusade forces. The battle for Dresden went brilliantly. Your party attacked the demon commanders, cutting off the head of the enemy forces. We suffered some losses, but nevertheless, it was a triumph. Queen Galfrey has been notified already, and sent her messenger with a letter for you and a royal reward.
Commander. The written word is a poor medium by which to convey my thanks, but it is the only one open to me at present. With this missive I enclose a reward worthy of the leader of a victorious host, a cloak of a warrior of Iomity. But it, and these words of praise, are but a fraction of the accolades you deserve. The Crusader armies acted with skill and coordination. Dresden has been returned to us, as has the Sword of Valor. I am astonished by the reports of how the Holy Relic has changed, but I recognize that what truly matters is our victory. Your victory. May it be the first of many. Accept my valediction and thanks. I prayed for your success and I shall continue my prayers. In anticipation of a meeting in the near future. Galfrey.
The decision to use Vescavors as weapons. I can't deny that they were effective, and yet you still shouldn't have done it. While the demons did suffer serious losses from the creatures, a lot of our fighters died as well, leaving our soldiers to be eaten by insects. Is that really how we Crusaders want to win? But that's not all. The Vescavors did not simply disappear. They are still flying around the city, in smaller numbers, praise Iomade. People see small swarms of them here and there. If you don't find a way to purge the city of this pestilence, I'm afraid that it will soon be devoured by a new swarm.
For a brief moment, you imagine an empty Dresden, consumed by the Vescavors. Not a soul left alive. Bleached bones barely visible on the overgrown cobblestones. And, above it all, the never-ending song of the swarm. The vision disappears as quickly as it came, leaving behind a feeling of slight nausea and grim satisfaction.
In any case, we would never have won if it weren't for your amazing powers. The moment you raised the Sword of Valor over the Citadel, the light of it must have been visible all the way back in Mendev. And the banner itself, it changed after coming in contact with you. Anyone else would call it sacrilege. I don't know what to make of it myself. It's surprising and strange. Permission to speak freely. I must admit that I've nursed doubts about your ability to lead an army more than a few times. You don't seem to take this seriously at all. Like the war is just a joke to you. But you keep winning again and again. Your orders seem crazy sometimes, but they lead us to victory. That means I should trust you, even if I don't always understand you. I hope you can refrain from making jokes at your allies' expense and focus all that searing wit on the enemy instead. We won the battle for Dresden, but this war is far from over. The demons know our true strength, so we must brace ourselves for a merciless counterattack. They will do everything they can to gain control of the city and destroy you personally, and all of us along with you. The only good news is that cultists make up more than half of their forces, so they will have to march the same roads as our fighters. If they were all demons, they could appear here instantaneously and lay siege to the city. Praise Iomedae for small mercies. The main demon forces are moving out from the City of Eyes and the Threshold Fortress. Scouts are reporting that for now, we don't stand a chance of tearing through the defense and launching a counterattack. We can only gather our forces, rebuff their attacks, and wait for the right moment. Unfortunately, other hostile groups keep appearing out of nowhere. And on top of all that, Minago is still prowling around somewhere out there. Anevia is trying to find out where that Abyss scum has run off to. Maybe she's already got some leads. Luckily, we are not alone. Mendev is with us. Queen Galfrey has sent us the first reinforcements. They've just entered the city. Besides, news of your victory is spreading through Avestan. I'm sure that crowds of new volunteers will soon be pouring into Dresden, inspired by your feat. And that's very good news, because we're going to need troops. Here is a brief report about the main problems we're currently facing.
And that's very good, because you are going to need troops. Here is a brief report about the main problems we're currently facing.
Irabeth shows you a sheet of paper with a list of 4 items: demons with special powers, secret path, missing patrol, and dragon.
Remember that Nabasu that attacked our camp? He had powers that no ordinary demon should have. It is not the only demon of its kind. We keep receiving reports about similar monsters. All isolated cases for now. But it's possible that in the future, we will see entire squads, if not armies of them. We must find out where they're coming from. Find the source of their power and destroy it. If we don't, They will crush us before long. Even you can't defeat an entire army of such monsters. As if we didn't have enough problems with demons already. Now there's a wild dragon in the vicinity. Luckily, it's not part of the demon army. If the demons had a dragon on their side, it could pose a serious threat. But there's very little food in the World Wound, and the dragon doesn't seem to have a taste for demons and cultists. She keeps attacking small squads of crusaders, picking off those who fall behind, ravaging supply trains. The dragon's been sighted frequently in the sky, but we don't know exactly where her lair is. We have someone to help with this, though. Do you remember the dwarf who bravely attacked the Baylor in front of the Citadel during the siege? He is back in the city, and he doesn't mind hunting this dragon, apparently. Go talk to him in the tavern. We might be able to help each other. Yes, it disappeared without a trace during a mission. We didn't even find any bodies. Maybe someone abducted them, or there's some natural threat in the area. And we can't rule out the possibility of desertion, either. The troop was patrolling the southern road out of the city. The last surviving settlements of Sikoris lie in that direction. But after the siege of Dresden, contact with them was lost. Hardly any of the inhabitants survived once the demons invaded the area. That's where I started the search. We can usually spot armies of demons in advance, as their hordes march along the gray road from Eyes or Threshold. But sometimes packs of them appear out of nowhere. They're managing to avoid our scouts somehow and sneaking into our territory. If we don't solve this problem, we cannot attack. The demons will just appear at our backs, block off the gorges and cut us off from Dresden. Anevia is trying to find out how the demons are getting into our territory, but she hasn't succeeded yet. Talk to her. She will tell you more about what she's doing. There are a few pleasant matters. At the Queen's command, the Crusaders who took part in the attack have had their pay doubled, and medals will be awarded to those who were particularly outstanding in battle. You know one of them. The Knight Elan from the Houndhearts. He led a troop of Nerosian recruits and brought them to the main forces, and later drew the demons' attention in the battle with the Baylor, allowing the wounded to be rescued. There is one more thing. As you know, there is a vast dungeon under Dresden. It's empty now. None of those imprisoned by the demons survived, and we don't have any new prisoners. We've temporarily placed the body of Staunton Vhane in the dungeon. You slew him. What are your orders regarding his body? Anevia thinks we should burn it quietly and forget about it. Some want to see his corpse displayed in the square, but I don't think we should behave like demons and barbarians. He may have been our enemy, but he deserved to be buried as a knight. However, the decision is yours, of course. Right you are, Commander. Commander. That day during the battle, No. My apologies. That is all, Commander. Thank you for your time.
Even the best people sometimes feel like imposters, pretenders to a position beyond their capabilities. It is especially easy to fall prey to such thoughts if you were responsible for, or even simply failed to prevent, the deaths of people who were counting on you. The events at the Lost Chapel and Drazen have left a ragged wound in the soul of Irabeth Tirabade, a wound which has now turned septic with self-doubt. Who else can heal Irabeth but the commander to whom she entrusted her life? Well, Warkif. Where to next? This +3 sling staff is imbued with nature's agony. Whenever the wielder enters combat, the weapon shrieks and creaks. All enemies within a 30-foot range have to pass a will saving throw, DC 23, or suffer 3d6 sonic damage for 1d4 rounds. This weapon also adds +2 to the DC for all saving throws against spells with sonic descriptor the wielder casts. No way, Commander. The quartermaster throws up his hands. Not in a million years. I can manage an expedition just fine, but running a fortress is a different kettle of fish. That's enough work to make a man's head explode, which is why they sent us an expert from Neurosian. Her name is Dorjlinda Stranglehold. I've seen how she handles things, she knows what she's about, that one, Iomity bless her. She'll be managing the fortress, and I'll keep taking care of the soldiers just like I've been doing. Horgus grunts with displeasure. Do you even have those? When I first heard the rumors, I thought that you had learned how to fly or incinerate people with your eyes, or something like that. And now that I see you, looks like cantrips to me. There are lots of preposterous rumors about you circulating around the city. They say that Lady Luck favors you in a special way, that no matter what nonsense you say or do, you always come out on top. This does indeed sound like a useful skill, if you're the ringmaster of a traveling circus, that is. In my opinion, a true marshal needs something more impressive. A short, chubby tiefling with a golden eye patch spits chewing tobacco between his feet, and takes another pinch from a tobacco box adorned with jewels. A fine day to you, Commander. Welcome to the One-Eyed Devil's trading house. His proud manner suggests that each word begins with a capital letter, and perhaps even continues in capital letters as well. That's some claim. Did you hear that, good people? First of all, my prices are perfectly fair, they're no higher than you'd find anywhere else. Second, who's saving who here? Are you prepared to eat bark and fight with rocks and sticks? You know, I have open contracts with dozens of suppliers. I arrange deliveries and do whatever it takes to get you sharper weapons, better magical items, better food, and you're throwing the extra expense in my face? This is the thanks I get for honest work. People are saying that you've got fortune on your side. When your enemies fire arrows at you, the wind blows them away. When enemies raise their swords against you, they slip and fall in the mud at your feet. Just think of all the abyssal terrors that hunted you, yet you laughed them off. And your laughter brings good luck to others. You give bizarre orders and gamble on 1,000 to 1 chance, but that's exactly what comes to pass. I think it sounds delusional. You can't win wars on luck alone, but you can pretend to be stupid so no one figures out your strategy. That's what I do. I'll tell you one thing for certain, I'll never play cards or dice with you. Should I make up a story about a heroic fight with a horde of demons? Truth be told, this is how it happened. Back when I was a snot-nosed kid, I had just opened my first business selling pies on the street. The local lads quickly took notice of me, and offered me protection in return for a small share of profits. The usual, you know. But I was so young, inexperienced, and greedy, so I told them to bugger off. Well, they caught me and taught me a lesson. They took it too far, though. I paid for the lesson with my eye, not just bumps and bruises. It's funny to remember it now, but back then while it was happening I was so scared. I thought they'd beat me to death. I remember I came running home in tears, and my mom just started screaming. I didn't have a clue why, and then I looked in the mirror and saw there were just shreds and mush where one of my eyes should be. I've remembered that lesson all my life. Ever since that day, when I start a business, I find some reliable business partners first. If I'd been born in a merchant family, my parents would have warned me about this, and about plenty of other things too. But I was a poor lad, so I had to learn everything the hard way. It's a miracle how many times I escaped death by a hair's breadth. In fact, it's lucky all I lost was one eye. I can afford a new eye now, of course. But you know, I just can't find the time. It will cost a tidy sum, and I don't want to take it out of the earnings, and besides, being the one-eyed devil is a big selling point for me. I'd be a fool to get my eye back only to have to keep it hidden under a patch. The answer is simple, the simplest thing there is, this is a good world, and I like living in it. Besides, it's the only one we've got. I'd love to know what's going on in the heads of the dimwits who are helping the demons destroy it. My best guess is that their horns grow inward, so there's no room for brains. I'm from Kellyx. Tieflings don't surprise anyone there. And they don't like demons any more than we do here. And why should they? The gods went to all the trouble of creating this world. Even Lord Asmodeus and his devils helped with the construction. And now these freeloaders show up after all the hard work is done, just to gorge and break things. It doesn't matter who you pray to, if you want to live, it's your duty to help. Welcome to the shop of Derek Sunhammer. The finest jewelry in all of Mendef. True artistry. Crafted by the master himself and his apprentices. Take a look. The boy sitting on the counter looks about 18. He salutes you with dignity, though his eyes scarcely rise from the tavern's ledger. The knight commander at my establishment. What an honor. My name is Fikito, I'm the owner of the half measure. How should I address you? I ask because some don't like undue familiarity, while others scoff at the tediousness of ceremony and titles. Your commanderness, are you sure? I'm gonna remember that, you know. Fi smiles mischievously. Out of respect for the whims of the hero of Drazen, the armadillo it is. So what can I do for you? Wine, a meal, a heart-to-heart talk. Two reasons. Fi says seriously. Drazen isn't the biggest city, but it still has a few taverns and pubs. To compete with the others, I need people to remember my establishment, and myself. That's the first reason. A tavern keeper who sits on the counter definitely sticks out from the others who prefer to stand behind their bars, all dignified. Believe me, you're not the first one to ask. Sooner or later every customer does. The second reason is the place's atmosphere. People should feel relaxed here. Life near the World Wound is hard enough. Folks don't go to taverns looking to cause each other more trouble. So I allow certain liberties, myself included. I'm even thinking of hosting an invigorating brawl here on the 5th of every month. I'll let my favorite customers break glasses and swing on the chandelier. Fi suddenly slaps himself on the forehead. We started talking about the inn, and I remembered. I wanted to thank you for personally defeating the demon in this very tavern when the city was liberated. Without you, who knows how many glasses he would have smashed before the Crusaders got to him. So please accept my thanks from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's a family story. It's not for the faint-hearted, but you're not one of those, are you? One day, before the wardstones were erected, a peasant family got lost on the way to the fair, and ended up near the borders of the World Wound. They stumbled upon a bored demon, who killed the father right away. He then asked the mother if she'd prefer him to take all her children or only half of them. The sobbing woman looked at her 3 darlings and said, half. The demon promptly cut the arms and legs off all the 3 children, said, I guess that's even, and disappeared. People across Drazen heard this story, after the family found shelter at the local temple of Iomity. For many years, they saved up for a regeneration spell so the children could be made whole again. They eventually scraped together enough for just 1 scroll, and decided to give the youngest child a second chance at life. He soon became the tavern's first owner, and called it the half measure in memory of his family and the terrible incident with the demon. He had a good life, for a time. Got himself married, and always planned to help his brother and sister, though he never got a proper chance. When the demons had Drazen surrounded, the poor cripples tried to run for their lives, but they died on the spot. The brother and his wife died a little later, at the hands of deserters. There were rumors that the same demon that butchered the family came to Drazen and made a den of the half measure. If that's true, I guess he got what he deserved when you freed the city. That's the story. Fi shrugs pensively. They say you're crazy, says the boy without batting an eye. They write songs about other military leaders, but they tell jokes about you. Yet they also say you always come out of battle unscathed, and so do the folks who follow you. They may laugh at you, but it comes from a good place. People believe in your luck, and everyone wants a piece of it. Of course, there's also a lot of superstitious chatter. Some say you're Fae, maybe even one of the eldest disguised as a mortal. Others say you're the son of Desna or perhaps Caden Kalian. One crusader from Tianxia swears that you're son Wukong, the Monkey King himself. No beings rule the chaotic and changeable plane known as the First World, the home of the Fae, but its most powerful residents are the mighty beings known as the Eldest, sometimes known as the Fae Lords or the Shapers. They each pursue their own mysterious goals and have little interest in the doings of lesser creatures. I can only tell you about my customers. They're mostly working folks, the ones who are rebuilding what's been destroyed, along with soldiers and some merchants. Overall, spirits are high as they can be in Mendef, nation of rattling sabers and fluttering banners. Everyone loves it when the demons get their horns, tails, and other parts handed to them. They've already forgotten that we nearly lost Canobers. War is like that. People live for one day, and that day is tomorrow, not yesterday. You've been a source of joy and inspiration for everyone as well. A simple lad, leading the fight against the demons, and defeating them. And running rings round all the arrogant Queen's knights, haha. People like stories like that. Indeed. Drinks on the house. Before the siege of Drazen, the half-measure belonged to a distant relative. I won't bore you with the details of how his family died. Just 3 words, demon worshippers and sacrifice should be enough. Now that the city has been liberated, the authorities and Iomeda's church will be returning what remains to the lawful heirs of the deceased. They take these things seriously in Mendef.
How can I help you? Don't you remember our last meeting? The name is Greybor. I'm an assassin for hire. But I suspect you're not here for small talk. Are you in need of my services? Yes, that was a failure. It was supposed to be a clean job. An anonymous client, a worthy target, a substantial fee. But the client insisted that I use an enchanted dagger they provided. I was assured that a single hit would be enough to finish the job, but it didn't work as expected. It was a serious blow to my reputation. And my reputation is everything to me. A large adult female? The one that's been snatching people and carrying them off? I've heard about her. That's an impressive target. I can take this job, but only if we do it soon. I'm expecting a new assignment from my regular client, and I'll have to leave as soon as I have the orders. And of course, you should know that this dragon will not come cheaply. 2,500 gold, paid in advance. Let's think this through. Are there lots of assassins in this town who have the valuable experience of subduing dragons and are willing to work for you? Will I lose any profit by protracted haggling? Will you? Is there any chance that someone less competent than I am will be able to locate your target as efficiently as I would? No, I don't think so. There is absolutely no reason for me to give you any discounts. 2,500 gold is an honest price for the head of a fire breather. Excellent. Let's get down to business. It's no easy thing to take down a dragon when you don't have wings, so you'll need to follow my lead. The best thing would be to catch her by surprise in her lair, but we need to find it first. Of course, since she doesn't leave tracks, that might be tricky, but I think I have a solution. We need to go west of Dresden, to the Grimwood Forest. The dragon's been seen there often. According to the scouts, this is likely because there's still some wild game left in those parts. We'll set up an ambush there. I hope I can rely on your honesty. I understand that on our way to the dragon, there may be other fights or places we need to visit for various reasons. That's to be expected. However, should I see that you are deliberately delaying the contract, or that you're dragging me off to assault some demon citadel instead of going after the dragon, we will have to revise the terms of our agreement. Got a job for me, Commander? Yes, I had a contract to assassinate a rather overconfident demon named Kylus there. I guess that counts as participation in the siege of Canabras. Not that my employer had any interest in the actual outcome of the battle. Come to think of it, the information my client provided me with was almost suspiciously accurate. They seemed to be aware both of the impending attack on Canabras and of the fact that Kylus was going to be there. Good luck. If you wish to make use of my services, I'll be here, but not for much longer. I am expecting new orders to arrive soon.
Never a dull moment.
That depends. There was a time when I had nothing in my pockets but holes. But did I consider myself poor? No. I considered myself a rich man who was temporarily down on his luck. Optimism is important not only on the battlefield, Commander. You are the leader of a victorious army that will be chopping all the demons into mincemeat sooner or later. I am the owner of a trade empire, which, as you see, is only starting to grow.
How much longer, I wonder? Follow me, or don't.
A tall, lean man enters the hall. He has dark hair, pointed ears, and his pale skin is covered in intricate tattoos. At first glance, it would be easy to mistake him for an elf, if his eyes were not so unusual. They are not just dark, as is common among elves, but entirely black and devoid of life. As you stare into their empty nothingness, it is as if the abyss itself is staring back at you. His face seems familiar. You look more closely, and realize you saw this stranger during the assault on the Grey Garrison. Back then, he laughed at the prank you played on the cultists with the barrels of explosives and then disappeared. Commander Oxifog Meteor Stalker. The visitor seems to take pleasure in the sound of your name, caressing each syllable with his black tongue, and licking his pierced lips suggestively before offering you a charming smile. Who doesn't? You are a celebrity, and not only on the material plane. I've been watching you for a long time, since the day you began your journey to the heights of glory. You still have a long way to go before you reach the pinnacle, but what if I could help you take the next step? Some very powerful and wise beings will soon be holding a meeting of the council, where they will decide what is to be done about the world wound. you would be a welcome guest at this meeting. Who I am doesn't matter right now. What matters is who you are. No, no, no. The visitor wags a long, manicured finger at you. Save all the questions for the council. The walls have ears after all. Please, join us, and we will explain everything. When you are ready, look in the closet in your chambers. Bidding you farewell with a playful wink, the visitor vanishes into thin air. A middle-aged paladin with a genial face salutes you. His sparse gray hair stands in fuzzy tufts on his head, giving him a distinctly unwarlike appearance. Everbright Crusaders reporting for duty. My name is WotR Kobalen, and I am at your service. Queen Gaffrey is gathering the main attack forces in Nerosian. She ordered us to replenish the losses suffered in Canabers and come here. We will support your troops. A tall, dark-eyed lad is standing behind WotR. He passionately echoes WotR's words. We are ready to go to the front immediately. Allow us to be at the spear of the attack. The old crusader calls the young man to order. Morvaig. Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't worry, no one will be defeating any demons without you. WotR smiles kindly and touzles the boy's hair. Everbright Crusaders mainly, but we have a lot of volunteers who joined us. Those who arrived at the Queen's call but didn't want to sit in Nerosian waiting for the main army to set off. All the hotheads know that the front is here. WotR nods at the boy behind him, the one who's eager to fight. We picked up this one too. He walked to Canabers with an old sword in his hand and a few copper coins in his pocket. He was going to keep walking, to kill the demons. And then he would probably have laid siege to Threshold, no doubt. The boy's cheeks go pink at the old man's gentle mockery, but he continues to stare ahead resolutely and boldly. The Crusader gives you a friendly smile. It's an honor for us, Commander. Let's give the demons a dusting.
Look who it is. Hi.
Anevia gives you a long look, her lips quirking up at the corners.
I don't know what to think of all this. You're a total mystery to me. And I usually don't like mysteries, but you're different. Your crazy stunts somehow make me think that, just maybe, this whole nightmare might suddenly end, by pure fluke, on a positive note. I'm no expert in these things, but I think that's what hope feels like.
Anevia shakes her head in annoyance.
Not a clue. I've been trying to work it out for days. The vermin have gotta be coming from some kinda basement, you'd think. Or an abandoned building. Or, Desna forbid, some secret passage that we haven't found yet. We need to nip this in the bud. When those critters start breeding, it won't be pretty. Alright. You watch yourself now.
Happy to be of service. And may Shellen brighten and vivify your day. Something changes in the golem's beautiful face, making it more dignified and pompous, as any true vice commander's face should be. Happy to be of service. And may Shellen brighten and vivify your day. Happy to be of service. And may Shellen brighten and vivify your day.
Don't know? Don't care.
The spacious room is immersed in darkness, and the only source of light comes from a round table at its center. The strange visitor who invited you here is sitting at the table, along with several other humanoid figures, and a hippogriff. They appear to be having an intense argument.
Let us finally decide what we are going to do about the world wound,
says a tall woman with the head of a lion. She is dressed in a white and gold robe, and her amethyst-colored eyes gleam as she turns her stern gaze upon those present. PHRR. A hippogriff wearing a shiny mithril breastplate emblazoned with a Badar's key bangs the table resolutely with his clawed foreleg. A Badar, the god of cities, law, merchants, and wealth, also called the god of walls and ditches in the Eastern Dragon Empires, is known to be a patient deity. Maintaining a strong neutral stance in his actions, he strives to expand civilization and order among the peoples of Golarion. Typical old cop. Your visitor laughs airily. But you've suggested this about 700 times. We can't just bring the army of Axis there. Even if a Badar happens to allow it, all the other gods, not to mention the demonic and imperial lords, and perhaps even the eldest, all of them will want to take part in the brawl. The world wound has expanded once, and this plan will stretch the hole between the plains even wider than Nocticula's. Never mind. In short, the civilization you love so dearly will be pulverized into a bloody mess. Axis is a plane in the outer sphere dedicated to universal law, unmarred by the struggles between good and evil. It takes the shape of a gigantic city, and exists as a shining example of perfect order and harmony rising out of the churning maelstrom. Within the plane's golden barrier walls, the streets are perfectly ordered and clean, the buildings appear as paragons of their respective architectural styles from virtually every culture within the great beyond, and the natives strive to live in orchestrated harmony.
Yug. Holes, bloody messes, Sakothbanoth, why do you always need to say such horrible, nasty things?
A dark-skinned Vidrani woman purses her lips. She is draped in yellow silk, and white flowers are nestled in her shiny, black hair.
Look at things with more optimism. Why are you so certain this is what will happen? There is always a chance things might change for the better. We must not lose hope. I think I agree with Chatterley. Even if representatives of the different external planes, from heaven to hell, do come to the battle, it will be a great opportunity to sit them all down at the negotiating table. Then we can find a reasonable, peaceful solution to this old source of strife, as civilized beings should.
I'm afraid, my dear Eritreis, they won't be in the mood to talk. Oh, look who's here. The tattooed man turns to you with a warm smile. Look, we have a guest. This is the one I told you about, Commander Oxifog Meteor Stalker, leader of the current crusade. Don't you think it's time to listen to what the mortals have to say about this mess? Go on, speak. Share your opinion with us.
How can you be so gloomy? Smile and believe in yourself. We will definitely win. I just don't know how yet.
Up until now, luck hasn't been on the side of the mortals. Maybe we should think about, well, no, maybe in your case, you should just start thinking. Anyway, let's return to our guest. As you can see, he is an extraordinary person. We should have invited a mortal to the council from the very beginning. They could have helped us see things from a different perspective.
Perhaps you're right. After all, mortals dwell in close proximity to the world wound, and deal with it constantly. Maybe, despite their, shall we say, narrow outlook on life, the mortal brain is capable of conceiving an idea worthy of consideration. What does it matter if he has ideas? Just look how cute he is. He will be our lucky charm, and bring us the good fortune we have been sorely lacking. Ha ha ha.
Each chuckle from this shape-shifting creature sounds different from the last.
Yes, we can already see that you've brought him here for a reason. Over the last few years, our discussions have become somewhat repetitive. Well, mortal, welcome to the council. You must have questions. We are ready to enlighten you. I convened the Council of Truth to... Wait, isn't it the Council of Deliverance? We voted, and decided on the Council of Truth. No, we didn't. It was a tie.
For the love of everything unholy, would you stop this already? You are confusing our dear guest. Oxifog Meteor Stalker, my sweet, this council, whatever its name is, has a single purpose, finding a way to rid Galarian of the world wound. The council was first convened shortly after the wound was opened, and...
Judging by the fact that you have to lead another crusade, it has not been very successful so far. But we are working on it. Sooner or later, we'll triumph, or not. It depends on which version of the future you perceive. The council chamber. This is a small demi-plane, a kind of room outside all other worlds.
PHRRRPH. The hippogriff raises his head proudly.
Yes, I was just about to say, kindly given to us by Abaydar's attendants from his collection. Sakothbanoth has turned your closet into a permanent portal. We'll be glad to see you at any time, although I can't promise you'll encounter all the council members every time you show up. I encourage you not to miss the meetings. Well, we've discussed the situation thoroughly.
PHRPH. The composition of our group, as you may have noticed, is rather varied. These two beautiful ladies are celestials. In fact, I am not ashamed to say, they are imperial lords. Erythrice, an Agathion, is the patron of debate. She is the one who actually convened our council. Chatterley, an Azida, is the patron of serendipity.
That is right. All points of view are represented on this council, no matter how hostile they are to one another, for this is the only way to achieve the truth. The Abyss is represented on the council by the demon lord Sakothbanoth, with whom you are already familiar, and a Malbranche named Alakino speaks on behalf of Hell. He has failed to attend the meeting yet again. He must have had some urgent matters to attend to.
PHRR. The hippogriff proudly pounds his clawed foreleg against his mithril breastplate, which is adorned with a Baydar's key.
Our eloquent friend is named Cobblehuth, and represents Axis. And we are.
The shape-shifting creature smiles with lips that change color by the second.
We are Shika the Many, the eldest from the First World. We can't say we speak on behalf of the entire Fey world, but we can't say the opposite either. We have a common goal. Just like us, you wish to overcome the world wound, and have already achieved some success. Sakothbanoth is right, it is most appropriate for your voice to be heard on this council.
We don't expect you to serve up a solution to us on a silver platter. For now, I simply brought you here to introduce you to the council, and to bring you, so to speak, into our circle.
Wonderful vibrations emanate from you. I feel our fate turning for the better. With a lucky charm like you, we simply cannot help but win. In that case, this meeting is adjourned. Oxifog Meteor Stalker, welcome to our inner circle. I recommend that you talk to each member of the council informally, in a more relaxed setting. When it's time for a new meeting, we'll notify you.
Sakothbanotha's penetrating stare seems to see straight through you, into your very soul. The demon lord Sakothbanoth is the patron of sexual and other hedonistic gratification, seeing the world as his plaything, one that serves up the violence and destruction of which he is especially fond. He is the brother of Nocticula. You know, there's a note of disappointment in Sakothbanotha's voice. That prank in Kenabers was exactly what I needed, but now I look at you and think, did I make a mistake? You are alright, I guess, but you lack ease, that inner freedom from prejudice and conventionality. You and I have great deeds and hilarious japs ahead of us, you just need to be ready for them. Hone your sense of humor. Learn some tricks or something. The commander has started on the path of the trickster, but does he have what it takes to play this role? To be able to change the world on a whim, one needs a certain inner freedom, always being the first to believe in the wildest nonsense. This is a quality which the commander is lacking. If he wishes to fully unlock his potential, he will have to change, by allowing a modicum of chaos into his soul. To a trickster, living is a game, winning is a joke, and changing the world is a fleeting whim. Could one who carries not even a shred of chaos within himself truly be capable of such an existence?